Am I wrong on the 5-year rule when it comes to Roth conversions? All right, I've heard a number of people that send me this email, nice, polite, nothing, no one's being, nasty, but they're using this, they're citing this article from Investopedia, and I'm telling you, when it comes to the IRS, always assume they want more taxes as opposed to less until you see something otherwise, which is what's called a PLR, a private letter ruling, a PLR, or you see some other kind of statement explicitly from the IRS. All right, so let's go into this now. There's an article from Investopedia that talks about the 5-year rule. Now, we all know what the 5-year rule is. To get a qualified distribution, qualified means it qualifies for tax-free treatment on not only the principal but the gains. You've had to have the account open for 5 years. All right, we get that. So the question that comes to be, if I do a conversion in year 1, in year 6, is all that money qualified from taxes, of having to pay taxes? Yes, okay. If I do a conversion in year 2, in year 6, is the money from year 1 and year 2 qualified from taxes because the entirety of the IRA has been open for 5 years? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Now, I could be mistaken, but I'm telling you, I used to, trust me, I used to be the biggest proponent of this whole thing when it came to your old buddy Josh's money too. I said, when I leave USAA or when I leave some other crappy old job, I always kept I've had a Roth IRA since they opened in 1997, all right? I've kept that sucker open for this exact reason. When I left the company, my goal was to move the money out and do Roth conversions so I can have access to the principal within 5 years because of the 5-year rule. I don't want to get too deep into this, but generally speaking, I said if I do a Roth conversion, I'll have access to the principal after 5 years without the 10% penalty. That was my thinking. All right. Not access to the gains because that would not be qualified because I wasn't over 59.5. So my thought process will just say I got $100,000. I roll it over to an IRA. Every year I convert $20,000 a year, and then in year 6 I take the entire thing out, the principal, and leave the gains in there, and I'll have access to the principal even if I'm under the age of 59.5, penalty free. All right, that was my rule of thumb. All right, I was since made quite aware that there's no ruling that said that is favorable. None. No PLR. No ruling at all from the IRS. A PLR is a private ruling that they give to a firm, essentially, that was willing to pay. It costs a lot of money to get your own PLR. But I'm not familiar of any PLR that says the Roth conversions is once you establish the 5 years, every Roth conversion thereof is free of any, is always qualified. I don't know that to be true. And so as we sit here today, and I'm telling you, I used to think it was until I did my own research. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I remember talking to somebody or I asked a question, maybe Bob Keebler, so I can't remember what it was. I was at maybe an FPA meeting, Financial Planning Association. I asked somebody, I forgot who it was, and I just, look, it may or may not have been Keebler. It might have been Reichenstein from Baylor, who I asked at some kind of meeting I was part of. I can't remember who it was, but I'm not saying this is what they told me, but there's some guy or lady, maybe it's Natalie Choate, I can't remember, but someone who's very well known in the business. And I asked that person at an FPA meeting about this exact same thing. And I was, unfortunately, I was told there was no ruling, a PLR, and no indication at all that the IRS was favorable towards once you clear the 5-year hurdle, every conversion thereafter is also clear the 5-year, doesn't need the 5-year hurdle after that. And so because of that, I'm just telling you right now, I'd be very hesitant about planning that the 5-year rule only counts for the first conversion and not every other conversion thereafter, if that makes sense. Now, if you can find it differently, by all means, let me know. But until I see something in writing specifically from the IRS or some guy or lady who's big in the business, and they can cite something from the IRC, the Internal Revenue Code, about conversions specifically, about conversions, I'm going that each conversion you do has its own unique 5-year rule. I'm telling you, man, when it comes to the IRS, assume negative intent. I told you one of my goals this year is to assume positive intent, not when it comes to tax code. I'm assuming negative intent here, that they say, hey, show us, we want you to pay more taxes because you didn't abide by the 5-year rule for each individual conversion. Pay up. All right, we'll see you.